Okay, picture this. You're out on a beautiful golf course, sun's shining. You just smashed a drive down the middle, maybe hit a nice little chip onto the green. It's sitting there, maybe just a few feet from the cup. Looks easy, right? For birdie. But then you get closer and you start seeing it. Those little slopes, the weird undulations, and suddenly that simple putt feels, I don't know, impossible to figure out. It's that final shot, isn't it? The one that can be so frustrating when the green just seems unreadable. Yeah, reading the green. It often feels more like some kind of magic trick than a real skill.
Yeah.
It's obviously crucial for scoring well, but how many times have you felt the line, hit the putt, and just watched it drift way off? Every golfer knows that feeling. It can take forever to get good at it.
Right. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're looking at this tool, the Puttalyze-APP. They make a pretty big claim, calling themselves the #1 green reading app.
Yeah.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack that. How does this app try to, take the mystery out of putting? It claims to use science, technology, turning that gut feeling into something concrete. We want to see what that science is and how it actually helps golfers play better.
Exactly. So whether you're a serious golfer trying to shave off strokes, or maybe you're just fascinated by sports science, or you just, love seeing tech solve tricky problems, this should be pretty interesting. It's tackling something that's always felt like pure art. So let's start right there with the basic problem. When you're standing on the green, how do you even start to visualize how the ball's going to roll? I mean, the surface is almost never truly flat, right? It's got all these subtle slopes. What are golfers normally trying to figure out? Just using their eyes and maybe some experience, and how often does that let them down?
Yeah, that's the core challenge the Puttalyze-APP tackles head on. Its whole idea is to make that invisible complexity visible. It focuses on visualizing the putt's path on these inclined surfaces, and it does that using 3 key concepts: the aim point, the distance point, and the target speed.
Okay, aim point, distance point, target speed. Those sound specific. Can you break those down for us? What exactly do they tell you? How do they help practically?
Sure. So the aim point, that's the precise spot you need to aim your putter face at the start. It's calculated so that gravity and the slope will curve the ball right into the hole. Then there's the distance point. This tells you how far you actually need to hit the ball, like the initial push or force. It dictates the overall length of the putt if the green were flat, essentially controlling your stroke power. And finally, target speed is the ideal pace the ball should have as it reaches the hole. Not too fast, not too slow. So you punch in some info like the putt distance, the slope, the app does its calculations, runs a simulation, and then it shows you the whole trajectory graphically right on your screen, with the aim point, distance point, and the key distances marked out.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just drawing a line, it's giving you those 3 distinct pieces of data. How does actually seeing those points change things for a golfer who's always just, gone by feel? What's the immediate impact?
Well, the immediate impact is clarity. It replaces that guesswork, that sort of vague feeling, with objective information. Seeing those 3 things, where to aim, how hard to hit at the right speed, it helps golfers really grasp the physics involved, almost intuitively, but backed by data. It's like the app is training your intuition. Instead of just sensing a break, you see the calculated line. You understand the power needed for that specific slope and green speed, so you learn to adjust based on real factors, not just hunches.
Yeah.
It helps turn that feel into a more reliable scientific skill, gives you confidence.
Right. It's like having a physics expert as your caddy, kind of whispering the answers. Takes away a lot of that doubt. But, lots of apps have nice graphics. What makes this one different? How do we know it's more than just a fancy estimation? What's the actual science under the hood making these predictions?
Yeah, that's crucial. And that's where the technical details section in our source material really comes in. Puttalyze-APP isn't just winging it. It's built on some pretty solid physics. The core is the equation of motion of a rolling ball with friction on an inclined surface. It even accounts for the drag force from that rolling friction. So it's actually crunching numbers based on fundamental physical laws that govern how a ball rolls downhill or uphill or across a slope.
Okay, equation of motion, rolling friction. That sounds pretty rigorous, so it's not a simplification. But how does that work on a real green? I mean, are they perfectly smooth planes?
That's a fair point. The algorithms are specifically validated for what's called a planar putting surface. Now, obviously greens aren't perfectly flat everywhere, but the key insight is that around the hole, especially for those critical putts inside, say 25 feet or so, the surface is often very close to a plane, even if it's tilted. It's a good approximation for that area. And another important detail, it focuses only on pure rolling motion.
Pure rolling. What does that mean exactly? It doesn't account for the initial hit.
It means it ignores the tiny hop or skid the ball might make. right at the moment of impact. It focuses on the phase where the ball is properly rolling across the green. And that's important because that pure roll is where the interaction with the slope and the green's friction really dictates the path. It simplifies the physics to the most critical part.
Ah, okay. So it zeroes in on the part of the putt that matters most for direction and speed once it's settled down.
Exactly. And this isn't just some random approach they cooked up. The source mentions it connects to established scientific work, citing papers by researchers like Grober or Penner. So it's grounded in existing physics research on putting.
That definitely adds weight to it, knowing it's built on published science. But even physics models have limits, right?
Yeah.
Are there boundaries? How far out does it work accurately? Are there greens where it might struggle?
Absolutely. And the source is quite clear about the parameters, which is good. The underlying algorithm works best for putts between 1 meter and 8 meters,
Which is about,
roughly 3 feet to 26 feet. So that covers a huge percentage of the putts you face in a typical round. And there's another important constraint involving the green's speed and slope. The product of the Stimp distance, that's D's in feet, and the maximum slope, SLmax in percent, has to be less than or equal to 40.
okay, hang on. Stimp distance. Can you quickly remind us what that measures?
Sure. The Stimp, or Stimp reading, basically tells you how fast the green is. They roll a ball down a standard ramp, and the distance it rolls out in feet is the Stimp number. Higher number, faster green.
Got it. So that formula, D's times SLmax, must be less than or equal to 40. What does that mean in practice?
It means there's a trade-off. On really fast greens, high Stimp. The app is most accurate on gentler slopes. On slower greens, lower Stimp, it can handle steeper slopes accurately. It basically defines the operating window where the physics model holds up really well. It ensures you're getting reliable info, especially on those tricky, quick, or severely sloped greens.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not magic, it's applied science, working within defined limits for accuracy. That's reassuring. But moving beyond just one putt? If someone really wants to get better at putting long term, does the app help with that? Or is it just a tool for that specific moment?
No, absolutely. It goes beyond just the single putt. And this is a really interesting part. The app includes a whole coaching section. It's described as a wealth of resources aimed at actually improving your putting skills overall. It's not just about giving you the answer, it wants to teach you how to find it yourself.
Okay, that's crucial. Building skill, not just creating dependence. What kind of things are in this coaching section? Drills, videos.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. It has instructional videos, tips from experts, specific drills you can practice, and exercises designed to teach proper technique. It also apparently gives guidance on common putting mistakes and how to fix them. Plus, more info on reading greens yourself and adjusting for things like slope and speed, so you're learning the why behind the app's recommendations. It's like having a virtual putting coach.
That sounds really valuable, learning the process, not just getting the result. What about the future? Any hints about where the app is heading? More features?
Yes, the future development sounds exciting. The source mentions that in upcoming versions, the app will also provide personalized feedback on your performance. Things like analyzing your actual putt trajectory and distance control based on your usage to help you pinpoint your specific areas for improvement.
Oh, wow. Personalized feedback. That sounds like a potential game changer.
It really does. It shifts it from just a predictive tool to more of an analytical coach that adapts to your game. Imagine it tracking your tendencies and telling you, hey, you consistently miss left on breaking putts, or your speed control is off on uphill putts.
That would be incredibly powerful for practice. That really ties into the ultimate goal for any golfer, right? Getting consistently better, lowering those scores.
Exactly. So with the resources it already has, plus that promise of personalized feedback, the coaching section seems positioned as a really serious tool for golfers looking to improve. It encourages that sustained effort, that deep dive into your own game.
Okay, let's talk practicalities for a second. We've got this sophisticated physics engine coaching. Is it actually easy to use on the course? Golfers need things to be quick, keep the pace of play moving.
That's a key point, and they seem to have considered it. The source emphasizes the app has an intuitive, menu-based navigation. The implication is that it's designed to be user-friendly. You shouldn't need a physics degree to use it, and you hopefully won't be holding up your group fiddling with complex settings. Quick input, clear output.
Good. It needs to fit into the flow of the game. And who can get it? Is it on the major platforms?
Yes. It's confirmed to be available on both Android and Apple iOS.
So pretty much accessible to anyone with a smartphone.
That's right, making all that science and coaching readily available to a wide range of golfers.
Okay, so wrapping this up. We've journeyed through the Puttalyze-APP. We saw how it tries to make green reading tangible with concepts like aim point, distance point, and target speed. Why? We dug into the science, finding it's grounded in the actual equation of motion of a rolling ball with friction, not just guesswork. And we looked at the coaching features, designed for real long-term skill improvement, with even more personalized feedback on the horizon.
And that brings us to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to chew on. Think about all the skills we learn, often just by feel or intuition. Maybe it's cooking, playing music, even parallel parking, like you said earlier. How many of those things, if we applied this kind of scientific analysis and tech-based feedback, could be learned faster or mastered more deeply, like Puttalyze tries to do for pudding? What happens when you really understand the why, the physics, the mechanics behind the how? Does it change how you approach learning anything? What other skills in your life, things that feel intuitive now, might actually have some fascinating science underneath them, just waiting for a deep dive?